In Chapter 1, we learned different ways or methods to collect data and the different types of data. Again, we have qualitative data and quantitative data. So let's start with qualitative data. This is what 2.1 focuses in on. The qualitative data and the types of charts to use. So for qualitative data, we will be using bar graphs and pie charts. First, we will need to know how to organize this data. So we organize this data in frequency distributions. A frequency distribution is a list or lists each category of data and the number of occurrences for each category data. Let's look at an example. A physical therapist wants to determine types of rehabilitation required by her patients. To do so, she obtains a simple random sample of her patients and records the body part requiring rehabilitation. See the table below. Construct a frequency distribution of location of injury. So as you can see, this is qualitative data, characteristic or an attribute. So what we're going to do is kind of create a table. We're going to have our body part, and then we're going to count the frequencies or the number of times it occurs. So we have back, groin, neck, hand, wrist, shoulder, hip, knee, and elbow. So I would like you to go up above, pause this video, and count how many times each one occurs. When you're ready, play the video. So how many times does the back occur? It occurs 12 times. So instead of writing 12, I'm just going to do tallies. Because later on we're going to get into numbers, and to me, and on the interactive, we use tallies just because it might be more of a challenge to differentiate all the numbers going on. So that's why I use them. Groin, there was 2. Neck, there was 2. Hand, I had 1. Wrist, there's 1. Shoulder, 5. Hip, 2. Knee, 4. And elbow, 1. So if you add these all together, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So you add them together. This should always be the total number of observations. So this total will equal the number of observations. So there were 30 up here, and we have 30 for the frequency. The next definition is relative frequency. That is the proportion or percent of observations within a category. So refer to the example one above. Create a relative frequency distribution. So I'm going to write C above because that's where we're going to do it, right next to the frequency. So here we had frequency. Now we're going to include relative frequency. So now this is the proportion. So we have 12 out of 30. So it's going to be 0.4. This is going to be 2 out of 30, which is 0.0667. Same for the neck. Hand and wrist will be 1 out of 30, 0.0333. Shoulder, 5 out of 30, which is 0.1. Six, 7. Hip, 2 out of 30, 0.0667. Knee, 4 out of 30, 0.1333, and then our elbow is 0.0333. If you add these together, we should get 1 or close to 1. So the total should always equal 1 or very close to 1 due to rounding. Okay, we had a round here, so our 1 might have been a little off, but as long as we're pretty close to 1, that's a very good check that you did it correctly.